welcome to the Blue House Bull Session. Happy Wednesday to you. How is everybody doing today? I am happy to be here. I hope you are happy to be here too. It has been a day, let me tell you. I stopped by a local wholesaler to pick up some storage containers and some stuff to make food, try and do a little bit of bulk preparation. I don't know, get in the habit of not buying fast food every single day. And I left something there. I left something there that I paid for, and I'm really upset about it. But it's a little bit too late to go back now. Wah, wah. I will be going back there to pick up another one, though. I purchased and left at the store a case of gyro loaf, gyro meat, you know, the little slices off the cone. And I'm mad. I had plans for that. But so it goes. I did get everything else that I got. I have plans for. Gonna do some meal prep. Gonna repurpose how we're using the fridge and the freezer to try and get things sorted out a little bit better. Yeah, but I'm going to be here for 2 hours. By the time I get back out there, they'll be closed today. That's the problem I run into, is I'm doing this for a while, and then after that, it'll be tomorrow. Oh, well. I still got all kinds of awesome stuff. Part of what inspired this is I made a Japanese-style chicken curry today. And we always have a ton left over when I make that. It comes out really good, and it makes good leftovers if you have something to put it in. But it is difficult to, with the containers I had, it's difficult to split it up into individual meals. You know, it's easy enough to put it in a container and put it in the fridge and then take out this much, but there's that much, and maybe there's only a little left. If I split it into individually portioned meals, ta-da, I'm accidentally meal prepping, and that works out in everyone's favor. That's what inspired the trip in the first place. Anyway, that is not the only excitement of the day, but that's been the most excitement, is trying to do that and get back in time to start doing this. What other fun and excitement has been going on? We've been adding the last round of achievements into Let's Cafe. I am very excited to see how that's been progressing, and we're getting ready to come out soon. It's going to actually release. It's going to be a real game that you can pick up and play and buy and all of that. I'm very hyped for it. Jacob, how about you? I see you in chat there. Are you hyped for it? I think, to be honest with you, if anyone is more hyped about this game than me, it's Jacob. I have never seen that level of enthusiasm, and I am unreasonably excited for it. As always, I am joined by my best friend forever and co-host, Uber Fuzzy. Welcome. How are you this fine, fantastic Wednesday?
Late?
I didn't even notice. I figured maybe you were picking up my gyro meat from GFS to bring over.
No, I have an alarm on my phone. Hey, it's 5:30. Go start doing your podcast prep. Go get your water. Go make sure you have eaten. You know, cram a food unit if you haven't. Go to the bathroom, etc. Clicked OK on the alarm. Got up to do that. Did not take the phone with me. Got distracted cleaning and doing stuff and lost track of time.
Most importantly, did you eat something?
No.
Would you like some chicken curry? I have extra if you would like some chicken curry. It's got corn and peppers. It's really good. Sesame rice.
Sesame seeds.
Look, I opened the show talking about going to GFS just so I'd have meal prep containers that I could use because I can't make a serving of curry. And it just doesn't happen. But if you would
Okay,
like some, I will save you some.
meal prep. Okay, I'm walking around Target yesterday getting school supplies, and one of the things on the list was for girls, bring in Ziploc size baggies. For boys, bring in gallon size baggies because they need a mix of two. There's no good way to say you 10 people get this and you 10, just like arbitrarily. There's generally a mix of some amount. So it's just half the class get this and half the class get this. Oh, look, we have an easily dividable way to divide that. Okay. She wanted sandwich size baggies with sliders so the kids can just
Yeah.
zip them open and stuff. They do not make in between Ziploc and the store brand and the other generic brand and the other brand. Nobody actually makes sandwich size baggies with zips.
They have the
The
real
smallest
short
that,
ones.
no. Even those, anything smaller than a quart, they're just press and seal. Now they've got real fancy press and seals with like the extra like one tabs longer so you can grab it, or they've got weird guide things so you can kind of just zip your hand across it to do a press and seal. But they don't make actual sliding zip ones. And I'm sitting there and I message person and I'm like, they don't make this. What do I do? She's like, use your best judgment. I'm like, it doesn't exist. This is a snape hunt. This is a what do I do? I'm like, screw it. I'll get a bag of press and seal, at least the right size. Teacher can
Yeah.
figure out. And I find here's where I started. I found an abandoned food container thing nearby because it's in that same put food inside of things and it's a press and seal thing. And I wanted one for my bologna because I've been getting the bologna that's just like you cut the package open and now you have open bologna. What do you do with it?
Yeah.
So I wanted to get some sort of container to keep that in so it doesn't get too dried out or whatever, over the couple days while I'm eating that brick of bologna. I'm like, oh, this will work. No price on it. It doesn't scan in the Target app because their app is jank, whatever. I get home looking at the receipt, the goddamn sandwich container, and it's tall for $9 for
Yikes.
one. And I'm like, granted, it's nice. It's got a seal. It's got clips and what. I'm like, okay, I'm probably gonna return this. I don't need it for $9.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime give us money days are going on, and I'm clicking through and I'm clicking through because I still got to get a pair of headphones and a few other things Target didn't have. And I came across kitchen stuff. I bought a 4-pack of 2 short ones for sandwiches and 2 double sandwich height for like
Yeah.
chips, but 2 littles and 2 bigs, like just a brick of it for $11. Like I know I paid the Target markup price, but
Yeah, that's no fun.
which then led down a whole rabbit hole of, ooh, what other food prep container things do they have? Maybe I'll start doing that. I'll buy, instead of getting flat of chicken, 4 chicken breasts, I'll get the big family size ones, pre-bake a bunch of chicken and just have ready to go chicken breasts for like that week. You know, take one out, microwave it, sauce it, cut it, do something with it, but they're pre-baked. So at least I know I don't have to cook them for a long time and just nuke a pre-made chicken breast.
Mine's the other way around. I got to have it individually portioned, otherwise it's just going to sit there forever. If it's in the freezer or if it's in the fridge, it'll sit there until it goes bad. If the work's done, I'll take out a meal and like heat up a container and eat it, container and all. But if I have a container of pre-cooked chicken, I will have a container of pre-cooked chicken for approximately forever. If I have 4 small cups of 1 serving of chicken curry, they will last 3 days because I'll eat 2 in one day and 1 each the next day.
I'm enjoying cooking again, so I don't mind pre-making some of the base ingredients and like, because I don't know, maybe one day I want to make, just throw it on a bread, have a sandwich.
Yeah.
Another day I'll chunk it up into cubes and throw it over some rice. Maybe I'll, I don't know what I want to do with it, but I don't want to take the huge hassle of getting the baking sheet out, laying out the thing, putting it in, waiting for the oven to preheat, waiting
Yeah.
for the oven to bake for 30 goddamn minutes. Oh my God. Ovens. I hate the concept of preheating an oven to cook something. I don't want to heat the oven to heat the food. You don't preheat a microwave. I've lived in this house for 7 years now. A while. I have been here a while. Granted, I know I have not cooked a whole lot in that time. The kitchen wasn't my domain. Not a sexist joke, just literally I was bad at it, so
You
somebody
were
else's
you were
job.
banned from the kitchen. It's not that you said I don't go there. It's I'm not allowed to go there.
No, I did not do the majority of the cooking.
Yeah.
So I did not have to operate the stove.
And it's not one of those where it's like, "Oh, I don't want to cook." It's one of those where someone else is already cooking and has shooed me out of the kitchen.
There's a button on my oven that I never noticed that says, I think it's like pizza no preheat question mark, and you push it, and then it prompts you for, hey, what's the temperature? And you think, okay. It says how long, and it's asking you, what does the box say? If it says I have to cook this at 400 degrees for 12 minutes, and it says, okay, you're ready, and then when you hit, it says, when it does, it starts the timer for 16 minutes. It knows how to do the math to auto scale, because if you don't preheat, you just cook a little bit longer. But it knows how to like volume over pressure. If it's 350 for this, it adds 20%. But if it's at higher, there's a curve, and it's
Yeah.
got that programmed in. So if the pizza's like cook it at 375 for 20 minutes, just put it in now, and we'll do the math, and we know to put it in at 23 minutes.
That is neat. That is mind-blowing and that is neat.
I could have been so many times I have preheated an oven and walked away to do something because it takes an unknown amount of time. It's not like push go and come back in exactly 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It takes, depending on ambient, if it's 90 degrees outside, that oven preheats pretty quickly because it's not going to overcome cold thermal mass.
Yeah.
If it's 30 degrees in the house, it takes longer to preheat. I don't want to stand there doing nothing. I'm going to do something else. I've walked away and left an oven preheating at 400 degrees to make a pizza for 2 hours because I forgot it was on.
Yep. Yep.
I could have just put it in and walked away.
And came back and had a pizza after it yelled at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whole time right there. It's the when we go to break, I'll get a picture of it for you.
Makes you crazy, don't it? In all the right ways. I don't know. I'm into cooking as a general rule. I enjoy it, but my schedule only allows me to do it at certain times. So meal prep is good for me because I can batch up my cooking when I have time to do it and feel like doing it, and then have homemade food the rest of the time. That's not cooking. Well, I mean, it's. We're going to talk more about the game. I'm sure we're going to talk more about the game. But that was inspired by different things. My love of cooking is only loosely related to that. However, my love for putting things in grids is directly responsible for that in its entirety. Entirety.
I wonder how much of us playing a little to the left for months and months also effectively you're putting things in invisible grids you can't see.
Yeah.
The big point of that game is, identifying what the grid is and then putting the things in the grid. There's an implied invisible grid, and that's basically what the cooking is oh, there is a grid, put it in here.
I think Eddie's right. I think we do need a grid emoji. I'll add one to my channel. If only there were a way to write some kind of extension where you could just arrange all of our cameras in the grid when you were watching the show. Play match 3 with our cameras.
There is theoretically a way to do that.
Go on.
Twitch doesn't do it because you are effectively sending one stream resource to Twitch as you're sending a single video stream. But much the same way that there are, you can send multiple audio tracks, which is how Twitch does like the VOD tracks. You don't put music on the VOD, but you can have it in your stream.
Yeah.
There is a technology to send separate for channel things like this. You can send, like, I could send my video separate from your video, and like you would send your background stream, but you would also send on separate video tracks your camera channel and also my camera channel as separate things, and then Twitch moves them around, but it sends them to the user, and they can independently control one person's audio or music levels or stuff. Twitch doesn't do it, but it is possible. Because I know this because in my last job there was a video restreaming muxing product we did, and there was a whole interface for doing that. So they could, on the back end, you could cache different people's video streams separately from the main stream.
Neat. Now you got me thinking.
Because it's a lot more CPU work to do it, but it is possible.
I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. How else can we gamify the podcast? Don't suggest the jiggy thing. His bit that we've been working on for quite a while.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Not that. A different idea.
We could have a wheel of topics that people submit in the pre-show, and then at any time somebody could throw money at us to like force us to spin the wheel and change the subject.
Ooh, now I like that. Wheel of topics. That would come in handy too, because I've been really bad at keeping up our agenda. We have a shared agenda document that we used pretty religiously as we were getting started, and I have not updated it in month and a half. When was Grant on? I need to keep
May
that
22nd.
up to date. I need to keep that up to date. Okay, 2 months. May, June, July.
That was the last one that had any. That was the last one that had any pre-questions on it.
Mostly because we wanted to write down what we weren't going to hassle him about.
Yeah.
Man. I was talking to him about some of the stuff coming up for Zeldathon. He and I were going to drag Fuzzy along into a game jam this weekend, and we've both kind of collectively decided that we have a little bit too much on our plate to do that right now. So I guess it'll have to wait until after Zeldathon. We'll just drag you into the next one. But we were talking about some of the various projects we're working on and how we anticipate getting them to go. It's pretty cool. I may or may not have a segment that may or may not use absolutely ancient hardware that we're trying to figure out how to connect into something that goes out to Twitch. Antenna out. Not even RCA. Antenna out.
Oh. There's a little S-cart
Yeah.
converter box
I
that
just
all the
got to make
retro
sure
people
that
use.
like we have one. Like, is there one in MC's kit?
Realistically, you should have two because they are prone to suddenly dying because there's a lot of voltage and a lot of stuff going on, and they could just
Yeah.
die randomly. They're fixable. That's the thing, is the reason they're all like open backed is because of heat. But
Yeah.
it's like you are prone to just blow a capacitor because it's got a full charged like 10 amp capacitor just like buffering the RF interface.
So you're saying
To
it's
keep.
likely that it could pop a cap?
Yes. Yes. I mean, like I said, they're very fixable, but they're like, if you depend on one, have two. So if you have two, you have one, and if you have one, you have none. You should have the one you're using, one ready to go, and then a backup in a box.
We had that happen with God, what were they playing? Wind Waker. They were playing Wind Waker at the last event, and a capture box upscaler went kablooey on us,
Yeah,
and yeah,
yeah.
and as
That's where it's so over.
as tends
Fiddling
to
with it.
happen, we had to wake up MC stupidly early in the morning. Oh, I'm sure he did not miss that. Oh well.
Well, what I remember from that was it was also weird because it would work, but only it would it was putting out a signal but not the right signal. So you had to turn the TV to another input and then back to that one for it to pick it up because
Yeah.
it wasn't sending like a VSync or an EDID signal or something to say, "Hey, I'm here." But when you switch inputs, it knows, "Hey, you're switching to an input. Just start taking stuff." So it wouldn't detect it if it just like unplugged or plugged back in because EDID didn't change.
Yeah.
But the TV would arbitrarily just start inputting it
Just
if you
magically.
changed inputs. But it would apparently a hassle to like change inputs on that TV because nobody had a remote, so they had to like blindly reach around and fiddle, frobnicate a nipple on the back of the TV, and it wasn't a TV they knew, so they're just like up, down, no, over, up.
Left, right, BA start. There was so much fun stuff that went on at the event though, and I'm really looking forward to the one coming up. The structure is definitely different than I'm used to, but it's going to be awesome. Oh, it's going to be cool. Did I ever put in a command for that? Let's see.
No.
I sure did not. I need to write a Nightbot command for Zeldathon. Make sure you tune in August 13th through 19th, twitch.tv/Zeldathon for Zeldathon 1986. Which corner am I in? That corner. Zeldathon 1986. It's definitely on brand. I'm bringing my leg warmers. We're going to jazzercise. It's a thing. There is going to be an 80s music concert. So,
Which 80s?
19. I checked.
Okay.
I made them specify. I've only been making that joke at every single Leeds meeting since the name of the event dropped. People are so sick of it by now. House. 1980s.
What were the details on that?
August 13th through 19th, twitch.tv/Zeldathon. Those are the only things we really need in the command. If you want more, you can go to zeldathon.com to find out, or I'll be yelling about it here every week until it happens.
There you go.
Yay! New Nightbot command. I'm not sure about Madonna, although Cyndi Lauper, or some equivalent thereof, is supposed to be showing up and potentially doing a duet of Time After Time with me. I may have roped one of our mutual friends into that. I'm very excited for it. Let's see, can I leak anything? Probably not. I should probably behave myself because they haven't officially announced the schedule or anything yet. So I probably shouldn't talk about Ganon 11's Idle Game Palooza. And I probably shouldn't talk about Zelda Paint, featuring Waluigi and Brian Ledgermore. um, Oh, I definitely don't want to talk about Quest for Zelda, which I will be practicing this weekend just because I feel like practicing. No particular reason. I enjoy playing the game quickly, you know.
What's your personal best right now?
I don't even remember. I'd have to go back and look, but I'm going to try and 100% it. If I were doing a thing, which I'm clearly not, because I don't admit I can't, I don't, yes. I think it's 36 something for an any percent.
Oh, that's not bad. Wait, it's minutes, not hours, right?
Correct. Minutes.
Okay.
So check this out. When I first started pursuing this line of madness, one of the things I did is I looked up the guy that wrote the game on LinkedIn, and we'd messaged back and forth a bit. One of the things that he sent me that I've been thinking a lot about recently is his original development disk images.
Mm-hmm.
I could do some really entertaining things to that game before the event. I could run the normal copy and then play a modded copy that's Zelda-thon themed.
Quest for Zelda 1986?
Zelda-thon, yes, exactly. I also don't have confirmation on the one sponsor I'm really excited about, which is the one I was yelling about Monday at dinner. I don't know about them yet. No, balls. I don't have confirmation on them yet. Yeah, but I do want to say we do have a couple other really neat sponsors that are providing some pretty awesome prize packs. And I really can't say too much about. I can't leak a whole lot of anything, but definitely check it out if you're into these games in general, not just Zelda, but Zelda-like action-adventure games. And come see some of the new stuff. Also, we're hoping they give us any more details or leak anything else about Echoes of Wisdom. Although we still, as a team, are so mad that we called our event Echoes, and then they're going to release a game called Echoes of Wisdom. Because the event before Dimensions was Zelda-thon Echoes. Then there's Zelda-thon Dimensions. Then there's 86 is the one coming up. Next thing you know,
Why would you be angry about that, though?
Because we can't call our next event Echoes again. We already used the name Echoes. And the next event, the game's going to be out.
Why would you use the same name? Why would you call it Echoes again?
Because the new game's Echoes of Wisdom. And if we called ourselves Zelda-thon Echoes, that would be really cool.
But you already used Echoes.
Right, which is why we're mad that now they're releasing a game called Echoes, because we can't call it Echoes, because we'd be reusing that name.
But what I'm saying is, we're in a new universe. Echoes of Wisdom doesn't exist. Why would you reuse the name Echoes at all when you've already used it?
Oh, no. I mean specifically in response to the new game being called Echoes of Wisdom, we would call our next event Zelda-thon Echoes. In celebration of The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom.
Are any of the other past named Zelda-thons tied to... Like, was there a Zelda-thon Breath right after Breath of the Wild came out? You know, as I'm saying, like, none of them seemed timely named, but also none of them seem like names were not reused.
The names aren't reused, but we try to tie them in some way if there is a game. The reason we used Echoes was in a thematic celebration of Tears of the Kingdom because of the memories and all of that whatnot. That is where the name Echoes came from.
Right.
If there, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this so it makes sense. Yes, we try to keep the names on theme, and this would be an opportunity where the on theme could go all the way down to a word in the name. Like the reason we're doing 1986 is in celebration of the anniversary of the 1986 release of the original Legend of Zelda, which is what we're themed around this time. Point is,
Yeah.
Zeldathon, because you play as Zelda. Can we call it Zeldathon Zelda? Somebody get Clinkit. Let me at Clinkit.
Pull a Jiggy. Just call her on the phone and hold it up to the microphone.
I do. Ooh, do I have her number in here? I think I have her number in here.
You probably do.
I'm sure I do. I could call Jiggy and ask him. How do you think he would take it if I not only stole his bit but did it by calling him, being like, "Hey, you." Zeldathon Zelda. That's going to be our next event. I'm calling it now.
They did say, I did see in some thing, you will be able to eventually play as Link at some part in there.
Boo.
It's not just...
Boo. Who wants to play a game as Link? Boo, he's lame.
What if Link were a boy?
What if Metroid was a girl? Oh, man. I'm excited for Prime 4. I'm excited for next year's Metroid Marathon.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Prime Pinball 2.
I was not expecting that. Of all the things for them, like, Metroid Pinball came out in a really weird time that, like, they had to been, like, between, like, changing of the guard, people getting quit and leaved and firing. They were, like, cycling out staff. They're like, we need to put something on, like, I mean, I guess we could crank this out and do that. And, like, screw it. We've got a controller with, 3 sticks for a 2-handed society and, nunchucks that go through, just like, screw it. Make whatever. We're not a real company.
Don't forget Metroid Picross. That's going to be at the next Metroid Marathon. There's going to be so much fun stuff for that. Can I just say again how much fun I've had doing all this ridiculous shit for these events? I love it. I love it. Thank you for letting me rope you into it, too. We've got one in the works. While I'm not leaking things, we're totally not doing a mod for Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, which is basically Jet Set Radio. And that one's shaping up pretty good. Although, I got to see if they'll reimburse me because I had to go buy the game on Steam. I want my $28... Well, I don't really want my... I mean, I want my $28 back, but I don't feel like I need it. I probably would have bought the game anyway, eventually. I'm interested. You know how much I love Jet Set Radio, so... It was gonna happen. But because I bought it for work purposes, in giant air quotes, I mean, I could expense my McDonald's breakfast from last week because I bought it for a team lunch at work. And I'm making the day job pay my internet bill. Come on. Come on. Oh, really?
Eddie, is that real?
Interesting. Interesting.
Like
I gotta
confirmed?
hit the news. Yeah, let me pop up a thing
Oh.
here. Oh dear. Oh yeah, that's no good. That is no good at all. It is not particularly surprising, but it is not good. I gotta go get my booster. I can't find my vaccination record card. It's here somewhere, but I cannot find it. I have old photographs of it, but I need to find the actual card because I need to get my new booster. I did get transport arranged for the event though.
Okay.
Big shout outs and much love to Love's Horses Girl, one of my favorite people and very good friends and keeper of wellness at Zeldathon, who is from the general area that I am as well and is traveling on the same date. So I'm
Oh,
riding
yeah.
with LHG. So
Gotcha. Okay.
she's the best. She's just entirely too sweet. And I'm so glad I got that sorted out.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, I had put out my feelers before and got a hit on it finally, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is like beyond perfect because she's also going to be their full event setup and teardown too. So timing works out perfect. In addition, it's great stuff. It's great stuff.
More than one, you mentioned the McDonald's thing. More than once in the past, we had remote team lunches like that,
Yeah,
and it was like for a whole department. And the easiest way, rather than it wouldn't be the easiest, and they went back on this later. What they would do is they would pre-send out like DoorDash or Uber Eats like gift card, e-codes to everybody,
yeah,
and have you order lunch like that because they want you to like, oh, just get something delivered so you can just sit and eat and not have to take time out of your day to like go get it or whatever. Except it was a giant masterclass in clusterfuckery
uh oh,
because first of all, the person inevitably who had to do it had no had did not have easy access to all the people in the entire department, their emails. So they had to collect those somehow, then send it out to them, then have to unsend some of those out when they're like, oh, there's no DoorDash or Uber Eats, whichever one they picked. Inevitably, there was a bad cross section. Oh, there's just that doesn't exist in my city.
yeah,
In general, there's not even a whole lot, delivery options. I could put it in and spend that money, but I have to go pick it up. Like it literally in my town, there's like almost nowhere that has actual delivery.
yeah.
My option was like Subway, but I'd have to drive
Ooh,
down the street to
Subway.
go get it. But if you order online, it jacks up the prices. So their $25 gift card got me one 12-inch sub because the
You,
sandwich was like the base, like the sandwich was almost like $18 after like the fee and the fee and thing. So the 12-inch sub was like a little over $10, and then like this fee and that thing, like the sandwich ended up costing $18. And I'm like, can I just have the $25 and I'll go there and buy the sandwich
yeah.
for $10 because I have to go and get it anyways. And yeah,
Those are a mess. And like as much as I enjoy the utility of the delivery services,
they did it that way because they did not want to have 80 some people send in expense reports. That means somebody has to go through every one of those claims, click 5-6 buttons and hit submit, go through because whichever company we had, they didn't have bulk approve. Like, yeah, it's under 25 for this lunch. Just click all of them, approve all of them, send it through. No, they had to click one screen to the next, to the next, to the next, and then it approved. Like, yeah,
Yeah, but that's somebody's job. I understand it sounds like an inconvenience, but somebody gets paid to do
that's
exactly that thing.
no. That's the thing is they never had a person dedicated to do this stuff, as the company was well over 1,000 regular employees, not counting the sales department, which was probably another 400 to 600 people, honestly, which just I don't know how.
Yeah.
Plus other people that weren't like full normal employees. Like there wasn't literally a person whose entire job was to sit on Expensify or Concur or whatever, and that's all they do all day is just approve that stuff. There wasn't. It was every individual department's.
That's a
Yeah.
failure of process, he said, to nobody's surprise.
But now you understand why when we have these internal meetings and I go off like we have to make sure we do this because of this thing,
Yeah.
they're all do not use hair dryer in the shower stories.
I am praying so hard that we get to that point, though. You know, I would love to have that problem. I don't want that problem specifically, but I'd love to be in the position where we could have that problem. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. This is our foot in the door. This is I'm not gonna call it our fart hotel, but you know what I'm saying. This is the one that's gonna make yeah.
No, I would say you've already made your fart hotel.
What, pray tell, was my fart hotel? Out of all the things I've released, which one would you say is my fart hotel?
Extreme horseboarding. No, I joke. That one was good. Hey, for the product of what you did in Flash in like a week, extreme horseboarding was pretty fun.
Especially because that was my first, like, game.
Yeah.
Horseboarding was my first. I want to revisit that. I think now we're at the point with the use of some better game engines and stuff like that. We could do a Tony Hawk style game that way. For real. We could make a real horseboarding game. Once upon a time, we were driving down the road, and as one sees out in the country, there was a sign that said horseboarding, and I made the comment that it sounded like the most extreme sport ever. You're standing on a horse that is standing on a skateboard or a snowboard, what have you, and that's the most extreme sport ever. And it turned into a Flash game on my webcomic page where it wasn't much of a game. Pick up some things, dodge other things.
You could move on two axes. You could move. You had like 3D stuff was scrolling by, and you were on a horse that was on a snowboard, and the map was moving side scrolling, but you could move up and down, but you could also go in and out, and you had to like dodge stuff. It was a 2 frames a minute bullet hell.
Yeah. But the vision has always been one of those like extreme skateboarding trick chaining games. Let's do it. Let's put that on the Hurgle backlog somewhere. Let's make extreme horseboarding for real this time. Let's even call it that. Extreme horseboarding, for real this time.
This Extreme horseboarding 4, real this time.
Yes. This sounds like Tony Hawk mixed with Goat Simulator. I'm all about it. Yes. That is the most accurate description I can think of. That's perfect.
Yeah, kind of.
With the missions, and instead of collecting the letter skate, you collect the letters horse. I just want you standing on a horse, dropping into a half pipe. Come on. Oh. What more could you ask out of life than that? That's phenomenal. That's good stuff right there. Although I also need to work on Mahjong Balatro, and I also need to work on the other game I pitched in the incubator channel the other day. The money game.
Oh yeah.
I have
I think I've played that, honestly. I think I've seen something like that already.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it in the least. Not every idea I have is going to be original. In fact, that's going to get less and less frequent the more that people make things. But
No, I'm saying like unintentionally I think that's been a gimmick on some games. Like it just ended up that way.
see, if it ended up that way, that's different than like this is built in from the beginning. And I want it. I want that to be the core of the game, not a side effect. And oh, oh.
What?
Jacob says, I have an idea for an activity for us to pick our next game. Is it everyone works on whatever the hell they want? Because I like that idea a lot. I'm intrigued. I want to see what this idea is. You don't have to mention it right now, but I'm very interested with this concept right now of like what our next big project's going to be and how we decide that. I'm still going to write my sushi railroad. I'm going to do that just for fun and just hand it over to you guys, but the sushi railroad one has been on my mind quite a bit recently, and I want to play around with that one. I'll probably make a mock-up out of it. I'll try to stop at a mock-up. Although last time I tried to stop at a design document, I wrote Let's Cafe. And then I brought it to you guys and said, fix this.
Yeah.
God forgive me for that.
Guys, more than once, he asked the question like, "Hey, at what point is it no longer like a proof of concept?" And I'm like, you know what? Just stop putting POC in like the repo name because just yeah.
Yeah, I am guilty of that, very much so. Which is why I got together a dedicated team to protect me from myself. Oh man. Man, oh man. Was working with Danny a little bit on some new art for the cafe game that we've been trying to get finished up and polished up. Mayor Chicken is even cuter than he used to be, but he looks so done with your shit. It's so great to just see him pop in and like look menacing. That chicken. Oh, that
It's
chicken.
amazing how much emotion and expression there is in like 4 pixels of face.
Yeah.
Of just the eyes.
And that's the biggest reason. Like, I can go buy all the asset packs or whatever I want. I can fiddle around in Photoshop or whatever. But I brought in a dedicated character artist who has done this professionally for a while because he can do that. He can just go blip, bloop, scribble, and it's there and in your face. Like, yeah. And seeing it happen live is always a blast. I need to get him doing more of that on the Hurgle channel. You can make art for the game, just hang out with us on stream. Draw there, I'll talk and read chat. Chime in if you get bored,
Yeah, just you go live on it, bring him into like a stream session like this, have him share his art screen, full screen, and you guys just be talking heads, just hanging out, watching him draw.
Yeah. I think that would be fantastic. I'm going to pitch that idea to him today, see what he says. Along with the other thing I said. You saw that. I like that idea.
Yeah.
I think that idea is going to be cool. Oh, man. So, I've been playing a lot of Balatro, and I've been picking through the source code because it is not so much compiled as it's all Lua script loosely wrapped in an executable with an interpreter.
There was some other game that did that. There's
There's
some other
there's a
big
handful
ass
of them, yeah.
no, like a big like AAA title that
Celeste or
someone
something,
looked.
maybe.
No, I think it was Hades 2.
Oh yeah.
But it wasn't just like the dialogue script. It was like the full game engine in Lua is just sitting right there. They're like, yeah, screw it. You want to mod it? Go ahead. I mean, it's all
Yeah.
just right there. Have fun. Because people are gonna pull it apart or inject shit. It's like, no, we'll just, dude, it's in Lua. We'll make it easier for you.
Yeah, we do kind of do that. We do that with JavaScript. I was thinking about that while I got you guys here. I'm going to get technical talk for a minute here. I was thinking about changing the save games to make them slightly harder to edit, but I'm not sure how much I care. For
No.
exactly these same reasons.
Nope. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I kind of figured it
If
doesn't.
it's single player games that get started and they're throwaway. There's no actual money
Yeah,
in there's no path of money between us and the users or the players.
yeah,
There is no if you want to there's no multiplayer, there's no high score effectively really. It's not like okay, somebody edited their high score so they could get more stars on the website to buy a skin or whatever. It's like, but it's not like, oh, you're taking money out of us because you could just buy the stars directly. It's like, no, like there's no reason. Okay, you're
yeah,
cheating nobody.
yeah. Um, I have another question in a similar vein to that, but I'll save that for private because I don't want to advertise that yet.
I've played games like that where it's people always say this just like, oh, I feel bad about cheating. It's like, dude, it's a single player game. If you want to edit it, if you're trying to cheat, go ahead and cheat. If you're
Yeah,
trying to do it because there's a part you're stuck on and you just want to give yourself like, some level 99 sword for this one fight because you cannot get past that.
the hell
And you
kind
just
of
want to get
cafe are
past.
you running?
I told you the night mode.
Oh, you meant night with a K. Okay, I understand. Night mode cafe.
No, night mode. The end of the day, the game doesn't end. You go down into the tunnels. That's where you get, you go down into the
And
into
you
the
and
bread
you and you
mines.
mine for marshmallows, yeah.
Yeah, but hey, the sun goes down. It's a terrible night to have a curse, and the boardwalk with soft shell shoals is covered in monsters, and somebody's got to clean them up otherwise the foot traffic won't come by to your shop in the morning.
Sigh. In a good way, but sigh nonetheless.
Um, but I've played games where they not only do they make it easy to do, they just straight up pull out. They put out a save game editor. They're like, look, rather than you like go through all this work, we'll just give you the internal tool we wrote as a debug thing. Like here, like it's not great. It's not a great interface. Somebody threw it together as an internal tool, but yeah, it's on our site. Like we're not gonna ship it with it, but if you want it, you can have it.
We should we make one of
No,
those?
no,
You don't think so?
no.
Fair.
I think it would be easier, honestly, for us to just put in like some cheat code interface. Just type in this code and we'll give
Well, we
you
have
a dialogue. A dialogue. I don't. But pop up a dialogue box and you type in, it's full of stars and you get 100 million stars, so you don't have to grind out stars if you just want to like buy stuff or whatever. Like actual text cheat codes.
I don't know. We semi secretly have a thing already. I'm debating whether we leave it in there and just put in a notice that says, "Hey, if you use this, you might break stuff."
I think what we could do though is that should taint a flag in your save game if you use it.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
And it shows on the save game. We just change a graphic on it or something that the debug menu has been used on this. Do not trust these scores. Nothing
Yeah.
is real. It's all a lot. Put a little cake. Put a little cake icon. So you
Because
know
the
any
cake is
scores
a
here are a
lie.
lie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's terrible, and I love it. I love it. I even have a slice of cake. It's perfect. Yeah, I think we should do that, and then just label it in the box and be like, "Hey, by the way, if you use any of these, I'll add a cancel button to you." We do need to add a cancel button to that dialogue. There
Why
is
are we
no.
collectively so bad about adding a button to things? Adding a cancel button or a close button, or can I go back to this goddamn screen from here? You know, not adding a button to can do to be able to, you have to hit escape on your physical ass keyboard to be able to get out of, you know, the one mode.
Well, originally, in this case, originally we did not have a pause menu. We didn't add a button for it because we didn't have one at all until I got bullied into putting one in there. Although, in hindsight, yes, not only is it a good idea, okay, yes, in hindsight it's a good idea, but additionally, there was no way to stop playing. That's the biggest reason I was convinced to add it, is there was no way to stop playing. And that's because I'm used to working on the web. When you're done playing, you just close the page. You're done. You stopped. You navigated somewhere else. You went over to Cornhub to look at some food, you know?
Unless you're in Oklahoma.
Oh no. Oh no, oh no.
What?
I'm just bad at adding pause menus to games. I'm also bad at adding volume controls. I did better this time. I may not have done it right, but I did better. And
What do you mean? Why would I want to be able to turn off the music for my game?
and if you, any of our internal friends here, look at the code for how the volume's handled, I'm really proud of the secret sauce I did with that because it works really well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're just at about 7 o'clock. I think we're going to take a short little ad break here, get our liquids all sorted out and all of that whatnot. You guys take a minute, stretch your legs, come on back, go hydrate, all of that whatnot. We will catch you.
Hydrate or dihydrate.
Hydrate or dihydrate. Catch you back here in about 5. Welcome back to the Blue House Bull Session. We are happy to be back here with you on this lovely Wednesday evening. I'm over here doing my Mr. Roboto thing because I am just lagging on the bits and bytes today for one thing, and my computer's also actively on fire. And yeah,
we just got to take that buffalo out back and put out its misery.
I think so. I think it's time to send it to a nice farm upstate.
It legitimately is a problem with older routers. Like, yeah, it still works, but you gotta remember, for every packet that is coming in or out, a CPU has to do a little bit of work. If you're running on a slower CPU, it can only do so many bits in that millionth nanosecond of where it's got to do stuff.
Yeah.
So.
No, I know it. I know it. I should put that on my throne wish list. I should start a throne wish list. Except I wouldn't put, well, okay,
I have one.
Everything would be ridiculous on there, but everything would be ridiculous but serve a purpose.
Here's the thing, though. There's a community option you can check, and it's not one person has to go buy that $400 new mixer. We can all, it turns it into mini, like, Kickstarter type things, and I can put $10 towards that, and somebody else can't, and it collectively fills up.
I don't mean in price. I mean, like, ridiculous in nature. Like a wall mount guitar rack. That's a ridiculous thing in my mind, no matter how badly I need one. And brother, do I need one.
I've got a 2-gallon Igloo cooler on mine.
What all would I put on my throne list? A new router, a new vocal processor, coat hangers, a wall mount guitar rack.
Here, we'll bring up mine.
Uh-oh. I think I lost him. In his effort to bring up his throne wish list, he accidentally closed the window. I'm very intrigued to see what's on this list, though. Welcome back. You probably shouldn't navigate away from this page.
I probably shouldn't close the other. I right-clicked on the tab and I said close everything to the right.
And the problem is that Stream Together was over to the right, yeah.
Yes. And I'm like, why did he stop talking? And then I look over at the preview. Oh, that's why.
I seem to have left.
Oh my God, the number of people. Did you know at one point Zoom did not have a confirm before you end the call?
Why, yes, I did know that.
Do you know how many people would just leave a call because they accidentally hit the wrong thing? And then like, oh, I kept talking because I didn't realize I left because they weren't looking at their screen or something.
Yep. I know it all too well from experience.
Yeah. There you go. That's what I have on mine.
Ooh.
I've got more computer RAM, a new hard drive for more shit to install, a really nice, like, I think it's, I don't want to open it in this tab, but because I think Amazon leaks information, but it's the really good Elgato face cam. It's very nice.
The new one?
Yeah.
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 The one I have is the gen before, and I mean, I know I look crappy now, but it's not the camera's fault. The camera's nice.
It's not. It's something, okay, whatever camera you see with him, as soon as he stops streaming, the quality goes as good as mine.
Yeah.
It's something with, because he's sending his camera
up to Twitch.
To Twitch, and yeah, he's sending his stream to Twitch, and then he's putting our call, which is the him and there, on his Twitch thing, which is then going back up. It's weird.
And I have ideas for how we can address that. We will do that before we do the thing, but see that That I'm really tempted to just outright buy for you because I want to watch you build it.
But see, it's like that thing's 100. I think it's less if you actually there is some markup. There's a tiny bit of markup because they do all the payment processing for you,
Right.
but it's not that much. And like they pool all the money if you put it in, you know. But like, yeah, if you just want to like, hey, I want to donate $15 towards that, and the bar would go up 10%, you know. But it's like, yeah, I would build that thing. I'm not going to go and buy it until I, you know, this one's slightly more reasonable.
Oh, I want that for me. Although that looks absolutely horrifying to put together, I want that for me. That's gorgeous. I would have so much fun pulling my hair out. Man,
I'll
man, that
make
looked
you a deal.
cool.
I don't expect you to do this,
Okay.
okay? Because I know your financial
Yeah.
is right now. If that happens to show up on my doorstep, I will put it together on stream and I will give it to you when I'm done with it.
I will keep that in mind. Remember, we're about to be filthy stinking rich. Like real soon. It's gonna happen.
Eh,
I'm willing it into
eh,
existence.
maybe it might happen.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Look,
Have
I
you?
I had fun with it. That's the most important part.
It's gonna be one of many games we put out. We are setting the pipeline
Yeah.
to be able, like, all the experience we're learning about how to make a Steam game
Yeah.
and how to do all the packaging and auto updates. We're gonna be able to put forward towards other things. All the stuff we learned about how to put the smaller stuff on itch for a couple bucks. We made actual, theoretically, folding amount of money
Yeah.
from you people paying $3 for a match 3 game.
Thank you, each and every one of you, by the way, that picked up a copy of Can Do on itch.io, man.
Yeah. For a game that's free on the web, essentially. Just to support us.
But you get all the
So
other
if
goodies with
we,
this version too. But yeah.
but there's, we're setting down the framework and we're learning from all this. But past this, games are going to be able to go out a lot quicker
Yeah.
because all the friction that we had to go through to set up the company indoctrination stuff, to get an actual number, to get a bank account, to put on the back end of where the Steam payments go, to
Yeah.
go create the Steam developer page. There's already a developer page. Now it's just click, add it to this one.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it is go log in, add new thing, pay the $100, upload it. You know, we won't do that until we're a lot closer this time because we knew it was going to take a lot longer lead time. We started all those back in like March, people. But like, we're going to be able to, like, I say this in the best possible way, but it is probably the best analogy. We're going to be able to shit out a game in under a month.
Yeah.
Like, from I have an idea to hit go live on Steam, theoretically.
Yeah.
Because it is as much as write the goddamn game, which a lot of that gets easier. Jason mentioned earlier about the sound code. We've been designing these things and polishing them, and yeah, it's this one perfectly polished little sound manager module that grew out of, hey, we need to manage the sounds in digit, not in Mudoku's digits,
Yeah.
like a lot better, because it was background and now sound effects and then other sound effects, and we want to be able to mute them independently. It turned into a whole, and then background music playing and the sound effects over top of it. So we have a whole sound manager that's evolved and every iteration's gotten better. But that means every future game gets that ability.
Right. All those improvements carry over to everything we do going forward.
If you've played or watched any of the Can Do stuff, the dialogue, there's fucking dialogue menus. We are not just drawing a box and putting some buttons. It's an
Yeah.
actual dialogue menu system that does it a whole lot easier. So you can like put up a menu and it's self-contained and then take that menu away, and not the janky, I guess we have options here, and if they push the down key, we'll record that they're in state 1 now and draw the arrow here.
Yeah.
No, it's just like put a menu and it's self-contained and go to it. That we're going to be able to add. That's why there's a million menus. Is they're easy to do now. Like
Yeah.
every one of these games, supporting any one of the games, you are not you are buying that game, but you are supporting the development time of future games.
Yeah.
Every It's a gamble back and forth. We invest the time into making this game in hopes that we get money for it, but what we get the money back on our development time. But the thing is, we're investing not into this game. Our time is being invested to pay off to the next game.
Right.
It's a N shaped, N wave. The hours spent on this one is not for this game. It is for every future game.
This game is included in that, of course. We want this to be the best it can. But however good we make this game is that much better our next game gets because of everything we learn, figure out, and build along the way. Because a lot of that carries forward. It really does.
We ran into development troubles with Mudoku's Digits. The save game data got too big for what you could store in a browser.
Yeah.
And that was around the time I started actually helping Jay on it. And I'm like, oh, I see what the problem is. You're hitting over the 5 meg limit, and all the data you have in here encoded into strings to put it's bigger than 5 meg.
Yeah.
And it's storing 5 meg and then stop. So when you reload, it's just truncated in the middle and it wasn't working. So I sat down like, okay, let's troll through. We don't need this. We don't need this. We can compress this differently. And I got it back down to like a megabyte of just with compression and cutting some stuff out. And like, oh, we don't need to save this. It's going to be the same every single time. We can rebuild it
Yeah.
and not have to save it. And all that learning is why the save games in Alchematic and Can Do and this game, they're just so much better. And they could be even better if we need to store more data. I'm like, I sat down and I worked out a much better compression engine for it, but it's overkill for this game.
Yeah.
But I learned from that, and if we ever need to store, I don't know, instead of 9x9, we have, a 9x9x9 in a future game when we have more, you have the light world and the dark world and the other one and then the other one, and the overworld's not 9x9. It may have some extra spaces in between that are, extra dimensional, kind of like the periodic table that the extended set isn't linear.
Yeah.
It kind of technically goes out and up. Yeah, maybe these 3 rooms across are actually five loading screens. but on the map, they're here, and then there's 4 more here that kind of just loop around. You got to save that data somewhere.
True that.
It takes you 5 screens to go from this side to the other. But you got to save all that data. And if we couldn't do a 9x9 in 5 meg, how are we going to store 4 different parallel worlds that are 12x12?
Yeah.
Guess what? My encoding engine can do that.
Yeah.
But we're learning forward.
I can't even say failing forward because we're going to succeed, but yeah.
Yeah.
I just know that's a common phrase, so I wanted to say those words. We're failing forward, except we're succeeding accidentally.
Weird.
Yeah. I don't know. We have many ideas, though. We have no shortage of ideas. And the other thing is, I know I've said this. I say this on a weekly basis. I am compelled to make games. I have a problem. Whatever happens, I'm going to keep doing this. Just because I can't envision not doing it. And that's why there's 10 million Sudoku games already up on the Hurgle website. I had to make them. I could not make them.
The thing is your stuff it's weird and derpy because you did not have to put any more polish into it.
Right.
You weren't making it to be a product. You made it because you wanted it to exist so you could go and play with it.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine.
And now we have that as an option. We can make the weird and derpy and throw it on itch as donation ware. And if we find one we all like and want to polish, we have a team of polishers. You know, that's the wrong way to phrase that. The more I think about it, but you know what I'm saying though. There is a dedicated group to file off the rough edges.
Is that what my job title is? Turd polisher?
I never said turd. I never said turd.
Korok seed polisher?
But no, what did we settle on for you? VP of QA? PDQ?
Oh, I don't know.
I did kind of let you pick your own title, and I threw a couple of suggestions out there. I think it's on the Hergel About page. I don't remember. I'm too lazy to go check, too. Point is, as a co-founder of Hergel Studios,
I do stuff that is done.
I'm a developer.
Yes.
I go in the dark room with the negatives and the chemicals. Wait. No, I'm an engineer. I have the cap, and then when it's time to make the train go, wait, hang on. What am I? You're the principal architect. That's what you're the principal architect. I think that's what we settled on. What does it say there?
Say that on software developer and system administrator.
Feel free to update it. You're the principal architect. You're the guy who figures out how the pieces should fit together and what pieces they should be. You are the hat rack. Anytime someone else is not wearing a hat, it's on you.
Oh, that is so good of an analogy.
Put that in your resume. My job title is hat rack. Whenever someone is not wearing a hat, it's on me.
Oh.
I'm proud. Give myself tennis elbow, patting myself on the back for that. I like that one.
Dude.
Take it.
That is such a great way. I have this problem right now because I am trying to find an actual real job. By the way, if anybody's hiring a hat rack, if I don't know it, I can learn it in a few weeks. I've worked for 2 different startups, West Coast based, for the last 15 years, 3.5, and then almost 12 for effectively the same group of people. Sort of. Anyway, but I joined one when the whole company was 20 people, and I think I was number 12 or so. And the other one, like I said, I was employee number 8.
Yeah.
It was very much a startup. We worked above a pizza shop for 1.5 years. The office manager, she had to learn to not put her purse on the floor because there was enough radiant heat coming through the concrete slab. Her lipstick would melt in her purse. She never noticed it because the air, like the whole room was warm, but she never noticed it. But there was enough radiant heat low enough to the ground. She had to learn to keep her purse up on a coat rack, actually, because it would just melt her anything in her purse.
That is amazing. I love that.
Low and slow at 110 for 8 hours sitting on the floor. But like, I was that person. I was technically customer service for the first 3 years of the company because I dealt with the email because Tyler didn't want to deal with other human beings anymore. I was QA when we were developing the thing before Sierra, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I before that, and I did manage the website because nobody else wanted to do it because I had the experience with PHP.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, that's what the site was in. It wasn't even WordPress. It was literally in PHP. Somebody hand whittled bits and made a site raw in PHP. I've written Jank code, and this thing was like,
whole new
how does
levels.
that even work?
Whole new levels.
Like, this scared me.
You're looking at it like, this isn't PHP, this is Perl. What is it doing in my PHP?
Kind of.
I have no
legitimately was
doubts.
kind of like that.
DN is like
And-
that.
But I did a lot of stuff. You know, I was QA, I was webmaster, I was the documentation team, because they would write the API code, nobody wanted to write the docs, and I'm like, I'll reverse engineer your code. You don't have to like write out the stuff. I'll just reverse engineer it and write our own documentation for it, so we have some documentation. And I did that, which is how I ended up being on the documentation team for years. Is it grew around me. You know?
It sprung into existence as, yeah.
But because of that, I was the hat rack. When something needed done and there wasn't somebody that was more specifically tuned to do it, they could throw it at me, and I could at least be a hat rack.
You could manage
wear
it
the hat
until someone was there who did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like you can make art, but you're no Danny.
Yeah. Yeah. That is very
You
true.
can make art, but it is an artist.
Yeah.
It is.
I can make
you
images. He can make art.
Yes. I was that job, but the problem is I have this amazing skill set at being a hat rack. How do I explain that on a resume to people? I did a technical interview a few weeks ago, and they're like, "Do you know this?" And I'm like, "No,
Not
but can you
yet.
hum a few bars?" And they said, "What?" I'm like, "Look, when I started the job, I didn't know this, and then I was writing upstream custom modules for it a few years later.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I walked in there with some basic web text and some PHP skills, and like we switched over to a new engine for a website. Like, oh, we're going over to a thing called Jekyll. It's based in Ruby, and it's a static site generator. And I'm like, I don't know Ruby. They're like, learn it, and I did. And then I was writing custom modules for that for the 8 years we used it until we switched over to Gatsby. And they're like, it's all in JavaScript and Node. And I'm like, I don't know those things. They're like, learn it, and I did. And then I literally submitted upstream patches for fixes because the engine was broken. I found a bug that didn't exist, and I reverse engineered the engine and found it, and like, hey, your shit's broken if you use it in this weird way. And they're like, we never noticed that because nobody's done that. What are you doing with it that you've got this use case? I'm like, oh, this is what we actually do with it. And they're like, why would you possibly be doing that with a website generator? And I'm like, because I was mandated to use this code.
Yeah.
They never said how I used it. The engine let me, so that's what I made it do. Legitimately, I talked with I forget his name, but the guy that GitHub ended up hiring, who was the original maintainer of that open source project, and then GitHub hired him when they used Jekyll for GitHub Pages.
Yeah.
They ended up hiring him to be the GitHub Pages guy because he wrote the software. It was his baby, and he was like the lead maintainer and stuff. They just hired him to do that, and then he went off and did other things and then kill it in. But like, I would go to him for questions directly, and he'd be like, what are you doing to my engine? And I'm like, I'm trying to load 700 markdown objects into it and have them all parsed so I can build a dynamic data tree to have a navigation on the side of a website. And he's like, I meant for you to put a dozen or so documents in one folder. And I'm like, we have 84 folders. They're nested 6 deep in some places.
Yep.
So I can do anything. What do you want me to do? I can't put in what skills asterisk.
You made it a possibility. You did not make it so that I could not do it. I'm going to do it. If I got to do it, I'm going to do it.
But that's why I've never had a good title for a long time. That's why we don't know what my title is here, because some days Jay needs a code review. Some days he needs to bounce an idea off. Some days he needs a no man.
Yeah.
To tell him, no, don't do that.
And you have unfailingly filled each and every one of those needs before, and many, many more, because you have that broad skill set and that ability to pick up anything new whenever we need. whenever we need, whatever it is, you are willing to jump in and figure out how to. And I appreciate the hell out of that. I want to say that again. Out loud, publicly, thank you for being an amazingly skilled, competent, and pleasant to work with person.
What's great though is now that we have both Matt and Jacob, that expands that dynamic skill set out a lot.
Yes.
Especially not just in the developer. You know, Jacob's got a lot of game making experience from his game.
Yep.
You know, in addition, just a whole nother gamer in general, not just me, because you're not a gamer. Let's admit.
No, I'm not at all. Not
You
even
play
a little
games.
bit. I play
I love
Balatro.
you, but
I play Cracking the Cryptic Sudoku, and I bought all the DLC for it. You know, that's me. I play Potion Craft because someone else bought it for me. I am not a gamer.
oh man, Potion. I made the mistake of finally installing the copy of Factorio that somebody bought me
Uh-oh.
almost 10 years ago. It was shortly after it came out, and I'm like, I cannot get into this. And I installed it the other day on Alert. I'm like, I'm going to go play it. I stopped playing halfway through the tutorial missions and uninstalled it. Because I realized I had spent 2 hours on this one tutorial mission building out a perfect, goddamn efficient factory and defenses and stuff because I did not pay attention to the goal was to teach you to use the furnaces.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that was supposed to take like 10 minutes.
But this is the
This
thing
would
that...
get way too addicting.
Yeah.
This would be way too addicting. I cannot play this game.
I get that. I very much get that. It's me with Balatro, man. One more hand. One more hand. One more round. I got it this time for sure.
You should stream that.
I should.
No camera, just stream the game. Just kill off the camera, turn off your camera. So it's hot, you don't gotta worry. Just throw, even just put chat into like emote mode or something and just stream it.
The biggest reason I haven't been streaming Balatro is I don't have blocks of time that I can play. I do legitimately play 15 minutes at a time and then do something else for 30, 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's why if you ever notice like on Discord or Steam, I'm always playing Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
It's always open.
Yeah.
Because I'll go off and do something. I'll come back and, oh, it's been an hour. I'll change up, my retainers and send them back out for harvesting and go talk to somebody for a few minutes and go click a few things and then go back and go do something else.
Well, once I get MC's thing together and the Zeldathon stuff, when I get back from Zeldathon, I'll just say it that way. When I get back from Zeldathon, I will be streaming more. Because I will have less other things that I have to do. I think. I'm sure I'm wrong when I say that. I'm dooming myself by saying that out loud. I am aware of that. But.
Make sure you're following the Hergel Studios account. We will actually be streaming
Yes.
game, like pre-launch stuff of Let's Cafe, and we're still working out the logistics of it, but when it does actually go, there will be a minor event.
A launch party.
Open it. The soft launch for early access. We will be doing a thing for that. When it does after probably later this year, when it does go like full for real launch, there will be a whole thing. We'll be trading out hosts and talking about it. We might have if Twitch finishes their goddamn knock on the door thing, we may have like people pop in, ask questions.
I dig that.
Like live stream together just like this. You can just hit a button and pop into our chat and talk to us.
That's like going to be so cool.
Basically they're basically turning stream together into like a radio talk show.
That's going to be so cool. Like, I'm excited for that.
It has a lot of everybody's poo-pooing and like, oh, I don't want somebody just joining. It's like, no, you hit approve and like you can put whatever restrictions on it, just like if somebody raids or chats or, pastes a link, like all that normal controls, you be able to see, like, hey, it's a person that's a regular in a chat. They've been in your last 9 out of 10 streams, and they've been a follower for 2 years. You could probably have an idea to trust them. And if they do
Yeah.
something bad, you can kick them off and then report them to Twitch, and also then ban them permanently.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did mention that there will be harsher penalty if you like jump on somebody's thing and just start like spouting racial slurs and stuff like that. They will be coming down with like the nuke from orbit type of bans. Like, you will be banned from the platform permanently.
Yeah.
You abused not only that one streamer, but you did something excessively bad.
Yeah.
That's intent. That's not, oops, I pasted the wrong text on my clipboard that had a racial slur on it, or said something that was kind of questionable in context. It's, you intentionally did something.
Malice aforethought and all of that.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're setting up for that. I really am. I am.
And also, and they did carve out some exception, like, you won't be as you will not be held responsible as a streamer if somebody comes in as a guest through that and does something like that. It's not, oh, something was said wrong. It wasn't your intent.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes, it may have happened on your channel, but you had finite control over the actions of another person, and if you react to it in an appropriate manner, you will not be punished.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They need that. It's sad that they need that, but they need that. So zesty
yes, all
sauce
of that
gummy
was-
bears.
So all of that was, yes, if you're watching this, and we'll make sure we put it in the YouTube, a link to it in the YouTube export if you're watching on YouTube.
Indeed, we will. And as always, make sure you join the Hergel Discord to keep apprised of what's going on, too. Because we tend to announce things there, or sometimes just shoot the breeze, or sometimes have a hangout and work on art publicly. If you ever want to see how the sausage is made, come hang out in the channel there sometime. You never know what's going to happen. Maybe I'll secretly sneak in there to start working on the sushi train game while nobody's looking.
Well, no, we have a rule. Only one major project at a time.
It's not a major project. Okay, fine.
Will it? Are you sure?
No, I'm not sure. But I will also say, have you looked at the milestone recently on GitHub?
Yes.
Did you see how few issues there are left there?
Yes.
I know, one major project at a time, but I'm proud of us. Our burn down chart goes down.
Yes, it does.
Well, I'm not used to that. Our burn down charts usually go horizontal. For every issue we fix, another one crops up.
Oh my god. I was part of a team that our boss left. He not only left the team, he left the company. He got a really good offer to start up with a friend, local, blah blah. We don't blame him for leaving. Also, he was in the position of, he wasn't a manager and he got made manager of a team. So one of the people on our team, she stepped up to be our new manager to fill that void. She at least had some slightly more experience in managing other people because she worked at a library for a bunch of years. So she was used to managing herds of people. But that always leaves the weird gap of, now you're getting a better manager, but you're now creating a void of, worker.
Yeah.
And I gave her a lot of experience from being a very observant employee and not a manager, like, because she didn't know how to use like the administration side of Jira. I was showing how, like, Here's how you start the sprint. Here's how you close the sprint. Here's all the stuff you never had to do. Like you sit on these retros and stuff, and you're like, yeah, somebody else is doing that. It's like I knew how to do that,
Yeah.
and I'm explaining it's like, and over here's the reports. Now before you ever look at this, you have to ask yourself, do you give any fucks whatsoever? These charts are going to be horribly wrong for 6 months because it was also a complete restructure between teams and departments. So our workload was going to be like wildly out of whack. Nothing was going to be completed on time. Like we're going to just roll stuff over from sprint to sprint and not actually like burn stuff down. And
Yeah.
it bring things in, take some just constant like these charts are going to be useless for months. Do not look at the burn down chart at all. It will make you cry. It will make no sense because the data is going to be wrong because you started off with 40 points and then you completed 68, but you also added another 80. And how is it at simultaneously negative 200 and also 84
Yeah.
of your original 40 points? And I'm like, because the math doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
They wrote it per the waterfall, burned out like it's for the work, but the way we work, it's more of an active queue, and
Yeah.
that shouldn't be using sprints. But but she's like, oh no, it'll be fine. She looked at us like, these charts make no sense, and I'm like, yeah, they won't.
Like I said,
Because you don't know how to estimate our team, our workloads. Our workloads are both doubling, but also we're tripling, but also getting half as much from now 3 different sources. We are lacking our old manager because he still did contribute a bit of code, and now we're missing you. So now we're losing a person and a half, and shortly after that, somebody else on our team moved horizontally to a different position in the company. So now we lost him, we lost you, going from a full employee to a half employee. Plus, we're losing his half. So we went, and at the same time, we were getting sources from 3 different departments now instead of just one.
yep.
Like, our estimates are going to be
Just way off.
Roll the dice.
Everything changed.
Just roll the dice. Yeah. So, burn down charts looking like,
roller coasters. Yeah.
not even roller coasters. Just the math didn't math at all. Our burn down charts look like that picture I have pinned on Twitter.
Uh-oh. I am... Now I gotta know.
There's a picture I have. I think it's still on there. Does Twitter even load anymore? I don't know. Yeah, it's still my pinned post.
Thatbirdapp.com.
Yeah.
I think I still have that domain. Just purely for the record. Thatbirdapp.com. I'm already ready to click the button. I see the intense look on your face there. Yes. Yeah, no, that's the kind of estimates. There's your burn down charts.
I'm pretty sure I broke math at work today. This was a graph from I don't even know what, but it was on a gecko board that we had on a screen, and this was literally what Google Charts tried to render the data as.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the hell it was, but I wrote the back end that pulls the data and like puts it here and puts it here, and you would put it in this weird format and then head to Google Charts, and it would make an image of your data. Like these are 0, 1, 2, 3. Like these are millions, and these are time. I don't know what hair, but like and then it goes, and then it just spikes up to a little over 6 million. I don't remember what this was, but this was 2015. But I'm like, okay, it works, and I pushed update and pushed to the board, and my boss at the time was standing over there waiting for it to cycle, and he's like, what in the actual fuck? Like, I know it's broken, but how did you do that?
If I knew, I would bottle it and sell it. That's just all there is to it.
I don't know. I went and grabbed a screenshot of it, and then I'm like, I gotta save that because nobody will believe what I did.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
I think I still don't remember what the data was, but I think it was the fact that uh I inverted the axes wrong,
I could buy that.
but it rendered it weird because there's like a lot of like up and down, which you can because if you look at it, there's a bunch of like horizontal planes going this way along the data, but it was like some things different amounts at different points in time, which is why there's like, but like all I did is like I think I flipped it and then it worked, but I'm like, how would it not just generate like the wrong like?
SVGs, it put the points in order, and somehow the order was misaligned because of the axes. And that's
But
why it's
like
self-intersecting, is it's supposed to be jaggedy, but
yeah, I don't know.
computers are marvelous machines. They do exactly what you tell them to. They're just very picky about how they receive their instructions.
They will
And
do exactly what you ask them to do.
getting that to align with what you want to happen is the trickiest part of using a computer in any aspect. Because they'll do exactly what you tell them to. You have to make sure what you tell them to is what you actually want them to do. That's where all computer problems come from. Almost all.
Teaching the rocks to think was a bad idea.
Yes. Yes. Boxing up magic smoke was dangerous. So how have your adventures been in the wild wests of Dawn Trail? I keep hearing cowboy music.
Wait, you do?
No, not right now. I mean when I watch you stream.
Oh yeah, I was fishing out there. There's a bunch of fishing holes out there. So, and also it was just one of the best zones to sit and idle in because the music's so great. Um, it is good. The end game is the story was good. The post end game is definitely going pretty good.
Good,
Got
good, good, good.
one, two, one, two, three, four classes. Fuck it, we'll say five. My bard's like 99.5 at max level. Uh, I've been working on my crafters this week. I was going fishing because I needed a specific thing that came from one very specific fish to make an item for the leatherworking guild. Like, go make us this one weird ornament book thing, and you need this fish scale as an adornment gem on the top. And I'm like, where the hell do you get this gem from? Like, oh, it's from this one fish. You have to catch it and then break it down. And I'm like, why are they tying my progress on leatherworking to having fishing or somebody else to go get this fish that has no reason to get this fish unless you're on this quest? Everyone else is gonna throw this fish like they haven't normally done this. They detached the classes
Yeah.
years ago. It used to be like blacksmithing would make nails. Just like as an item you would grind out, but you could make nails. And then any of the other classes that used like woodworking used nails and stuff. It was just a component, but you did not make nails. You had to either buy them or make them on blacksmithing. And armor, armor was goldsmithing would make rings, like leather,
Yeah.
yeah,
Jump rings.
rings, yeah, jump rings, and then armoring would use jump rings like that. You know, same. There was a lot of like inner, and then armor would also use some strings that came from like weaver and stuff. You know, for like little or leatherworking would also use thread. You know, you'd go into weaver and you turn bowls of cotton into cotton thread, which Weaver used a lot of, but there was a lot of intertwinedness. They got rid of almost all that. There's very, very few of them, but it's like Why did this come back?
Could not
Then you
even
got
tell
alchemists
you.
over there doing whatever the fuck they do.
Could not even tell you. I'm very curious now.
What?
Why they would do something like that.
It what sucked was it was an important like progression step. It wasn't like, oh, I just won't make that item. It was to do the next progression level on the leatherworking guild. You're supposed to be doing. You needed to make this one item that required exactly one fish scale from this fish that was not that hard to get, but you had to like get it, and nobody would ever keep that fish.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, while you're on this quest, go get this fish, but you can get it if you're on that quest. It wasn't like, oh, hey, this fish is marked as a quest. Don't throw it out. Somebody's gonna want it. Like you watched me the other night, I was just throwing away a lot of those fish, just blowing them up to see if they had anything good. They don't anymore. I don't know why they exist. There's dozens and dozens of fish that have no purpose whatsoever. But I enjoy it. It's fun.
Fair.
It's
Fair.
it's it's relaxing.
Yeah. I have not gotten back into it or gotten into it yet. I know I mentioned that I was thinking about it, but like I said, I've had a whole lot going on.
It's a lot of game.
Yeah.
It is a very good game. It is worth it for the people who play. I don't know how or why people. It'd be like, okay, entirely from memes and jokes from it. Would you start playing Eve Online right now?
No. No. No.
Right. If a new game came out, you might jump in and try it because the game is still new and you could get your feet wet at the same rate as everybody else.
Yeah.
But joining, at this point, I mean,
It's tough to get into fresh. Yeah.
right, you wouldn't go start playing World of Warcraft or EverQuest 1 right now.
Yeah.
For the same reason, I mean, hell, 14's been out 10 years. There's nothing new. Like, I've been playing it for this long. I enjoy it. It is good for me to play, but I am heavily invested in that system. I would not recommend you casually pick it up.
Very understandable. Very, very understandable.
I don't even know what games have come out. What is the game that has come out in the last 5 years that's not a casual game that I would suggest you could just get into?
I am genuinely unsure. Not that I'm searching for a new game either, though. Like I've been struggling to just get things done in general, and yeah, I don't know. I should be careful with my gaming. I should be careful with playing video games. I got too many to make. I can't play them and figure out what people like in video games now. Ha ha
Paint
ha.
the well.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is actually a legitimate problem. I mean, it's the same reason. In addition to time management problems, it is cited as a reason why, like comedians they don't really go watch other comedian shows. Like they enjoy it, but they can't risk like, oh, it's something I've heard somewhere else.
Yeah.
Gamers don't go play other game designers don't go play other games because like, oh, I don't want to make it seem like I took this idea. Like, no, you should. If somebody else made it, it's probably a good idea.
There's validity to it
If it made it to a production grade game, it has been through design and testing and polish and QA and checking and 1,000 eyeballs in between there have said, hey, this is not a bad idea. You should emulate the, you know, it's the what's the story with the planes and the bullet holes?
Oh, the survivor bias thing, yeah.
Yeah,
Where the planes would come back and they say, we need more armor plates here because this is where all the bullet holes are. And people said, well, no, these are the ones that came back. We should put more armor where there aren't many shots because when they get shot there, they don't come back.
yeah.
Yeah, that one.
That's, if there's a like, oh, you took this mechanic from Call of Duty, it's like, yeah, because it works.
Yeah.
They'll remove something if it doesn't work. There's a reason you see certain game modes, you know, battle royale type things. If it didn't work, people wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
If match 3 wasn't a good concept, there wouldn't be more games of it.
Yeah, the fact that there are so many is entirely people want them. People want them. That's the thing. Yes.
You need to play enough that you have a good finger on the pulse of what the hell is going on in the world.
Yeah.
You need to know what is hip and trendy, or just general what's not. It's like, oh yeah, I've played that before, it wasn't good, it didn't become an overnight success. It's you have to know what how do I say this? It's like you have to be able to tell why something went viral
Yeah.
or why something didn't. It's like, I've seen that before and it didn't get a lot of views or whatever. You know, you can make a game and if nobody plays it, you still made a game, but you have to look at what's the common factor between all of these things. This is what people want. You know,
And that's where I bump up against things a little bit, but meh. I don't know. I go on Facebook and I scroll until I see an ad for a mobile game and I say, "Ooh, I want that." And then I make my own rather than go download it because I am difficult.
that's why I've said this before. Like, there's a couple different game archetypes we need to fart hotel out.
Yeah.
We need to go bait. We don't need to make our AAA top game of the year on the first attempt. But as a learning experience, we need to go right an idle game, a deck builder, a tower game, hit all the major archetypes so we have an idea of how to do any of these. So if we do want to emulate something, we have some basic concepts, even if we don't reuse any of that.
Yeah.
There's the whole machine mechanics from Alchematic of put stuff in the machine and stuff comes out, and how to animate the machine, and also have the lookup tables of the results. The potion of underwater night sight, because
And
you put in carrots and water wart. Okay, now we have a lookup table and combination things. Like, there's a whole mechanics in there, even though the game is crap. Game's not crap, it's unpolished, but it was a living proof of concept. But we know how to do these things now.
yeah. That's one of those where you and I have talked a lot about design documents, and that's one of those where
Mm-hmm.
I have a concept, but that's as far as I made it. And then I took concept and started building code, as opposed to more detail about what the finished product should end up looking like.
That's the benefit and curse of working in JavaScript.
Yeah.
It is a rapid prototyping language.
Yeah.
You can, oops, I accidentally made too much of a prototype because I wanted to see how this would work, and end up with 80% of a game.
Yeah.
But also, you can also then finish the other 10% and have a not great game
Yeah.
because you kept changing how it goes on.
Yeah, that's a concept I would like to revisit at some point. I don't know if I want to say next project, but I would like to revisit that concept and actually plan it out this time, but carry forward everything we've learned since then too. And I think it'll benefit from that. And that just takes us full circle back to, hey, keep an eye on us. Everything we make makes the next thing we make better.
What if we had we take the little things, the smorts and the other little, like, here is just a game to play for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
You wouldn't necessarily want to put that on Steam as a whole nother separate entry, right?
right.
But what if we take those and we make a Hergel WarioWare type thing, and we just, like, we have them as independent games on the site, but effectively their code can also be glommed into Hergelware
The basement
that is on
collection.
yeah, and then as we do those, we can just add those to that and then push a new update. So people that do have it on Steam, you have all those in a box, or you put that on a Stream Deck. You put it on your Steam Deck. You have all those games at your fingertips, and we just kind of like Nintendo Online. Just as those come out, we just put a new update out. The games aren't gonna. There's not gonna be updates that often on it. When you do, okay, we got a new game. Throw an update. It updates on your system. Oh, look, it
Yeah,
went from 100 meg to 102 meg because there's a new game in it.
yeah. That's not a
But
bad idea.
we just, this way we can get those out there, and people can get new games into their system as we make them. But it gives us a place to put these, little bit more of a prototype. I just wanted to make a thing. It's a neat little concept, neat little dumb web game. We can put it on the site, but we also have a way to put it out there.
Let me
You know,
think a little bit
take
more. Like I,
take
I
all the
love
ones
the
we have.
idea, the mechanics of how we'll take a little bit of finesse, but not a whole lot.
Hey, yeah, but we solved that once, and then it's,
Yeah,
it's the translation problem. I said this a long time ago. We had to add translation to our website. And said, well, how much work would it be to add, not just Japanese, but to add German? Like, the work we go into to setting up the stuff to add one language makes every other language for free.
yeah,
Whether or not you want to add one language or 50 languages, it's the same amount of work, from my point of view.
yeah. We put in the ability to do this once. You feed me text files after that for free.
We package it up, we put it on itch or something for $5. They said, look, new games will automatically get added. You only got to buy it once.
It's not a
It's
bad
games we put
idea.
out there for free, but it's like, I want to support,
Yeah,
Hergel Studios. Buy this once. You'll get all of the games that you would get anyways without having to have separate downloads.
yeah. I like it. Ship it. We're good. Yeah. I'll
Okay,
wrap
hold
them. We're good. All right.
Done.
We're
It's live.
we're at about time, so I think I'm going to cut us off here. Thank you guys for hanging out with us so much. We hope you have enjoyed your Wednesday Blue House Bull session with us. Goodness knows I have. Like I said, make sure you're following the Hergel Studios channel. Make sure you're in the Discord. Go wishlist Let's Cafe on Steam. It's coming soon, and I mean really soon. And yeah, we're gonna go do our thing. Go take care of yourselves. We will catch you next time around.